The year 2020 embroiled the world in the COVID-19 pandemic that reached every continent and country over the course of the year. Perhaps most importantly, the pandemic revealed and exacerbated inequalities between urban and rural areas, thus bringing a renewed attention to urban-rural linkages. In response, UN Habitat held 9 global webinars in May of 2020 to overcome difficulties generated by the COVID-19 crisis by bringing a focus to urban-rural linkages and integrated territorial approaches. Analysis of the content of the webinars reveals the applicability of all 10 of the urban-rural linkages guiding principles. These principles were created with the help of more than 130 stakeholders from over 40 international organizations and launched at the UN Habitat Assembly in 2019. Some of the guiding principles that were discussed during the webinars are as follows. Locally grounded interventions guiding Principle 1. During the webinars, what was a constant from urban slums in Nairobi to small cities in Morocco and larger capitals and metropolitan areas is that interventions designed for local conditions were the ones that succeeded. Integrated governance guiding Principle 2. In discussing guiding Principle 2 during the webinars, it became clear that the pre-pandemic alignment of different levels of municipal, subnational, and national government agencies made COVID-19 responses and coordination more efficient. For example, in Guadalajara, Mexico, and Grenoble, France, previous metropolitan policies linked to the rural sector may have contributed to a better response in the face of COVID-19. Financially inclusive guiding Principle 4. In Chefchaouen, Morocco, which exemplifies intermediate cities in North Africa, local government faced financial challenges during the pandemic with the halt of tax collection, fixed expenses, and the increasing number of people in need of food support. Human rights-based guiding Principle 6. Many rights within the context of urban-rural linkages were severely degraded by the pandemic and its impacts. This included the right to employment, education, health, housing, and food. Environmentally sensitive guiding Principle 8. During the 9th webinar, speakers focused on the importance of managing urban-rural linkages in light of expanding urbanization and consumers' choices that impact natural resources. This includes the quality of soil, water, biodiversity, and climate change. Data-driven and evidence-based guiding Principle 10. COVID-19 responses are confronting the challenges of fragmented data without aggregated details on age, sex, or ethnicity and race, including migrant status. In response, national and local governments, grassroots organizations, NGOs, and CSOs are organizing and sharing the data collected for the distribution of social services, including cash transfers and food. Ultimately, there is a growing realization that localization of the urban-rural linkages guiding principles may be the way to strengthen urban-rural linkages for post-COVID-19 recovery in concrete, spatially grounded approaches. In order to achieve these goals, UN Habitat and its partners continue to work on territorial governance agendas that take into account all 10 of the urban-rural linkages guiding principles for action.